everyone, it's Mark from Brave Auto International in Japan. Today I'm sitting in a 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8 RS model. So the RS model is the lightweight version, so it only has manual wind windows, doesn't have any carpet in the boot, less sound deadening on it. No sun visor on the passenger's side. It comes with standard seats, not the normal Recaro seats. Normally comes with, I think, the wheels that are on them normally, I think if I remember correctly, are just steel wheels. And they don't have a rear spoiler on them either. This one does though. What they were produced for, they were mainly for privateer rally teams, because they are the next best thing to the rally car. They don't have AYC either. They have just a mechanical diff. They have shorter ratios in the gears, and they're probably the RS models and the Evolutions are the quickest of them all. Same thing like mirrors. The mirrors are all manual, they're not electric. Well, this one's got aftermarket mirrors on it, which are rally art ones, which are the close race style ones. It's also got a, I think it's braid aftermarket seat in it, which is, I think, for a Japanese person with thin hips, because I can't even sit and get my back into the thing. They only have one airbag, which is on the driver's side. And it has aircon, which is good, but like I say, these are the rally ones, and this has been bought out of auction. It's done 64,000 Ks, bought for a customer in Europe. It's got some aftermarket stuff on it. It's got aftermarket coilovers, some really nice 17-inch alloys on it. It's got an aftermarket diff computer, and it's also got an aftermarket EUC. Both of them are rally mark, and the original parts are also included with the car. So anyway, I thought I'd take you for a test drive. Well, I'm taking it for a test drive. I thought I'd bring you along. Battery's getting a little bit tired on it. A little bit hard to drive when you're sort of not in the seat, sitting in the seat properly. It's like hopping in a child's go-kart with a little narrow seat. During the road test, what I'm checking for is just to make sure the gearbox is working correctly, the car's not overheating, it's boosting as it should, and just general road test, just make sure there's no problems with it. You might be able to hear brakes are sort of grinding a little bit. They're not actually down on the pads. All it is we've washed the car, sat overnight, and you get a little bit of surfacey type rust stuff on the discs. So a good burst and something to break between them. I thought today during the road test, what I'll do is I'll talk about payment to auction and consumption tax, which consumption tax is a very interesting subject. But I'll start with payment to the auction. When we buy a vehicle from the auction, we have an account with the auction, and every agent has a set, or auction member has a set budget, or credit limit, I suppose is the correct word, with the different auctions. So if we buy a car today, we have around 5 days to pay the auction, and then if we fail to not pay the auction within 5 days, we risk losing our auction membership. So it's really critical to pay the auction on time. When you buy a car today out of the auction, the car will actually, from this afternoon or tonight or even tomorrow, actually the process of having it delivered to us already starts. So normally, sometimes the vehicles are delivered to us before we even technically have to pay the auction. Okay. Now what I do with our business, and I've always done it, is I only bid on vehicles for customers if I have enough cash in my own bank account, which is the business bank account obviously, to cover the customer's purchase. Because I've been doing this for a long time, and the amount of stories I've heard and all that type of stuff from customers where you buy the car for them today and they've gone on holiday for 2 weeks, can't do payment, the dog ate the bank book or the bank card, the bank's lost the transfer form, etc, etc. So technically we can't rely on the customers paying on time. Now, majority of the customers are really good. They arrange their payments pretty much straight away. And I'm just going to give it a burst down here. And brakes. Get the stuff moving around in the boot. Yeah, so as I was saying, the majority of the customers pay within the 5 days, some don't. So what I do is, like, we can buy a vehicle that's 100,000 yen to 10 million yen. And like I say, I only ever bid, normally I just turn up that road there, but I'll just go for a little drive today. So I like driving this thing, it's really nice. Normally we have to pay the auctioneer within 5 days, as I was saying. So what I do is I only bid on vehicles if I've got funds in my account to cover the purchase. And so what I do is funds in my account to cover the purchase. So running one over here. Cover the purchase, as I was saying. So what happens is, when I buy the vehicle today, I actually automatically pay the auction tomorrow using our funds, and then wait for the customer's transfer to come in. And this avoids the high risk of me overspending. When I say overspending, buying, for an example, this week, I don't know, 15, 20 million yen's worth of vehicles. And although it sounds like a high number, it is a high number in value, but we can buy a couple of GTRs that are 3-4 million yen each. So what I do is I'll pay the auction, and then I'll wait for the customers to pay us. Now, where the risk is, if I overspend, where I have only got, for an example, 18 million in my bank account, and no customers' monies have arrived in from the previous week of buying, that means I'm 2 million yen short paying the auction. And that's where the big risk is of losing the auction membership. So the general rule, the golden rule, is I only buy what I can afford to pay for myself without relying on the customers. And that protects myself, and also protects customers as well, because if I fail to pay the auction will come after me without fail, and they will start seizing stuff. And it could be a customer's vehicle that got in storage or whatever. So that's my golden rule. A lot of agents will fly by the skin of their teeth, I suppose is the easiest way to put it, where they rely on customers to pay on time, and they're overspending every week. And then what some agents do is they'll actually use customers' deposits to cover other customers' purchases. Okay, and that's where that can be dangerous for a customer in the aspect of if the customer fails to pay for a vehicle and the agents use 10 of his customers' deposits to cover a vehicle, then he can't, he's running out of money, and that's where big problems will start coming in. I'm probably waffling on a bit here, but it's hard concentrating on your driving and talking at the same time. I can't multitask. Well, I can, but not that type. So that's the payment of the auction. So we always pay the auction the following day, and we have on our invoices, you must pay within 5 days, otherwise we will keep your deposit. We're fairly flexible, and I mean flexible in the aspect of, if there's a problem where there's a family crisis or something like that, you can't get to the bank, you just send us an email. Just so long as I know what's going on. It's the customers who come up with stories and they think I came down in the last shower or something like that. Like I said, I've been doing it a long time. I've seen, heard, and been at the end of everyone's stories, so I know what's real and what's not. So anyway, so that's your auction, paying the auctions. Now, consumption tax. Now, this is a touchy subject. Probably about 3-4 years ago, I made it public on some of the car import forums about what goes on with the consumption tax. Consumption tax in Japan is 8%, on the purchase of the vehicle. So when we buy a vehicle from the auction today and pay, 1 million yen, we actually pay the auction 1 million plus 8%, which is consumption tax, plus recycle fee, which ranges from 10 to 25,000 yen, depending on how many airbags the vehicle's got and all that. Okay. Now, when we export a vehicle out of the country and we can produce a bill of loading with the vehicle's chassis number or VIN number on the bill of loading, we can claim back the consumption tax from the government. Okay. So there was a lot of how would you put it? There were a lot of agents in Japan that were charging consumption tax. So they may say their agent's fee is 100,000 yen. They buy the car at auction today, pay 1 million yen for it. Okay, and they say to you it's 1 million yen plus tax plus their agent's fee. So you pay them that. So their agent's fee is 100,000, and when they export the car, they're getting back the 80,000 or the 8% tax, and they're pocketing it. So really, their agent's fee is 180,000 on that car. So what was happening a lot was there are many agents out there that were doing this, and the way to attract customers, because customers weren't aware of it, that the agent could claim it back, was to offer a low agent's fees. So they would say, look, our agent's fee is only 50,000 yen. So, it's human nature. When you're looking for something, you come to our website, for example, and you see it's 100,000 yen. And then you see Peter Pan Motors, their agent's fee is 50,000 yen. So you naturally go with the lower one. And then you normally find out that, you don't realise what's going on, that their agent's fee is actually a lot more because they're charging consumption tax and claiming it back. Okay? So, if any agent in Japan says to you, what we use here is mirrors up here, to look around to see what's coming around the corners. This is just a little back road I'm just wandering around on. So, if an agent charges you consumption tax, just bear in mind he's claiming it back. Okay? So at Brave, what we do, we don't charge consumption tax. We never have. We don't charge recycle. I've always been up front with the way things are, and the reason I don't charge it is because we claim it back, and I can't be bothered receiving a transfer from you today for 1,080,000 yen, and then in a month's time doing a transfer back to you for 80,000 yen, which is refunding the tax. So I just cover the tax myself, so it's just easier. Let's give this another burst. There she goes. Very, very quick. So we don't charge consumption tax, never have. And but just bear in mind, like, we get some customers who buy 5 million yen cars, and we charge them 100,000 yen agent's fee. And don't get out of the agent's fee, we're paying the auction costs, because we get charged by the auction to buy the vehicle, or the auction fee. We've got inland transport, which is your local inland transport. We have customs clearance, paperwork, deregistration, all that comes out of your agent's fee, port loading, etc. So we're not making 100,000 yen, nowhere near it. But just remember, when we buy a car that's like 5 million yen, we actually pay the auction something like 5 million and I don't know, whatever, 400,000 yen. But you pay us 5,100,000 yen. Okay, which is 5 million for the vehicle and the agent's fee of 100,000. But we're actually out of pocket by 300,000 yen. Oh, comes our transporter. Hang on a second. Yeah, so like I was saying, we're out of pocket by 300,000 yen. So what I'm saying about that, some customers like to have their vehicle exported pretty quickly. And believe it or not, we want to export your car before you even want your car, because we can't claim back the taxes that were paid out on your behalf until we produce the BOL. So, the stories of, you hear a lot of stories where agents are slow on shipping. You normally find they're ones that are charging consumption tax because it doesn't matter to them. Whereas in our case, all these vehicles, I want them exported as quickly as possible so we can get back the consumption tax. So anyway, so that's your consumption tax and auction, paying the auctions. Any questions, just email me and ask me and I'll tell you. Anyway, this Lancia, I'd already been out for a test drive in it anyway, so I already knew exactly what it goes like. We do the test drives as soon as the vehicle's arriving from the auction. These test drive videos you're seeing at the moment, they're just ones we're making for YouTube, and that just to show people what we do. So yeah, very nice car. I'll give you a quick tour around it. There you go, Lancia, Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8 RS. Goes as good as it looks. Okay, thank you guys. Move on to the next one.